Mike Hosking Breakfast, 6 to 9 weekdays on Newstalk ZB.
G'day there. I watched an interview the other week with Marina Davidson. It came after the elevation of Chloe Swarbrick to the leadership. Davidson wasn't at the press conference, Chloe told us, because it turns out she had COVID. Now, in watching the interview, although COVID-ridden, Davidson looked and sounded perfectly well, although isolating, which is what we do, of course, when we have COVID. Well, some of us do anyway. Friend of the kids the other day had COVID apparently, and they hopped on a plane and they said all the kids do it this way. That's just the way we do it post the COVID era, apparently. Anyway, but the power of the narrative is still on display, by some at least, because we were convinced, or have convinced ourselves, that COVID, although affecting the vast majority of us in exactly the same way as any other flu-like viral type condition, this was somehow different. And one of the outworkings of getting COVID in some people, they ended up getting what has become known as long COVID. Now, the research is out this week from Queensland's Chief Health Officer, no less. Long COVID does exist, they say, but we need to stop calling it that because, to use their words, it creates unnecessary fear and it's probably harmful. In other words, we've freaked ourselves out needlessly. They've studied more than 5,000 people and found similar functional limitations a year after the event, as they found with those who had seasonal flu or any other respiratory illness. In other words, it didn't matter what you had. Some people still felt the effects 12 months on. The same way, it didn't matter what you had at the time of infection, it still hit you the same way. You might have lost your sense of smell, or you might not have. You might have been fatigued, or you might not have. But the fact you could take a swab and get a red line gave us all a chance to say, oh, it's COVID. I'll isolate for whatever the current rules were at the time, 5 or 7 days. Now, if it wasn't COVID, we reacted, of course, completely differently. The same way we had our entire lives until COVID came along, got a massive government-backed tag and reputation and messed with our sense of common sense. We turned it, because we were allowed to, if not told to, into a thing. Well, slowly as common sense returns and a slightly more real-world perspective evolves and the test results come in, we can increasingly see this period as some sort of out-of-body experience where we let fear play far too great a role in our lives.
The Mike Hosking Breakfast, 6 to 9 weekdays on Newstalk ZB.